Okay. Okay, great. Is anybody in any trades? The markets have been moving today. Anybody done anything good today? Let me start sharing. Anybody in any trades at the moment? Nope. Okay. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are on the 7-day free trial, then it's a great privilege that we're able to bring you that. The software and tools are very, very powerful, and that's why after the 7-day free trial is up, we have to take people out of the groups. If you could all just mute yourselves out, please ask questions as we go along if you want to. It's very nice if people want to chat. I'm going to show you just briefly. Hi. This is what you will be in if you are on the 7-day free trial, which is the financial freedom movement. That's where we're allowed to bring you an insight into our wonderful trading group. And we have two very good strategies which we've refined. One is called Be Your Own Bank, and that's one of the top educators on IM that brought us that. And the other one is the 25 to life, where you're putting a simple fib. It's called a Fibonacci. You don't need to worry about what it is or why it works. Just know that it works, and it's based on maths. Extremely powerful. You put some simple settings in, you click on it, copy and paste off the D point. I'll show you that, where that is, and then you can take a trade. So you'll find everything in the units in the financial freedom group. So make the most of the week to go through that. I won't go through any of them. The schedule, we update the live traders every day. We update our trade wins and our losses, very transparent. And then once you join, you'll come into the Ninja Forex traders. This has been built up. See our new logo, very proud of that. One of our guys, a graphic designer, web designer, has done that for us. And you'll be able to see all the units in here. So start here with John. Gives us very powerful, he did over 1,000 pips in 1 week, very powerful information and trades. Come in here and ask questions and go through the units starting here. Once you join, there's a welcome and introduction from Paul, who started the group 3 years ago. So let's have a look and head over to the Harmonic Scanner. And I left this one up because let me get rid of that. Let me just minimize the gallery. I've left this one up because I wanted to show you how a D point redraws. This is, you can take any of the scans, you can take the trades. If you do take these trades, you can see you're working on sort of a 634, there's about a 20 pip stop loss there. These again are 5 reversal points in the market based on maths with Fibonacci. So you can take the trade off the scanner. You can use any of the brokers down this right-hand side. And also within IM Center, once you join, you'll find a section of units with a fantastic gallery. Go through units 1 because that's the basics of Forex. What is Forex? How to work out your lot size calculator. What is MT4, which is the trading platform to place your trades, etc., etc. And then the units 2, 3, and 4. It doesn't matter which broker you've got. You don't have to stick to the same one. Traders Way is the main feed for the Harmonic Scanner. And here I'm on the hourly, so that's M15 hourly, 4 hourly, daily. So obviously the longer the time frame, the bigger the stop loss probably, and the longer you will stay in a trade. Shorter the time frame, and you've got to work out what suits your lifestyle and what kind of trading style you have. So I'm just going to hop over to, this is Great British Pound, Australian dollar, and just find that here. That's on my trading view. GA, and the reason I wanted to show you this, I'll go to the hourly, is to show you that sometimes the D point redraws. I think I put this on before it had solidified by 20 pips. And ignore everything else, all the faded outlines. You're only interested in looking at this scan at this moment in time. It's the most recent scan will always take priority. Let's just magnify that so we can have a look at what's happening. And then make sure you've got your magnet on, that little horseshoe on the left-hand side, so that your lines don't slip once you've drawn it. So you can see here on the hourly, and you need to have your local time zone here. You can see here on the hourly, it says at the bottom that the new high point is 25th of February, 8 a.m. my time. So go to the Harmonic Scanner, and I'm UTC +1. If you're in the UK, you'll just be UTC. I'm 1 hour ahead. If you look at the bottom, it says 25th of the 2nd at 11 on the hourly. So you need to just check these when you go through the scanner. If you see it's gone higher, because the scanner is always a high to a low to a high to a low to the next high, if it's a sell scan, and vice versa for a buy scan. So that is we want to pull that up there. Now I will have locked these on, so I'll take off your lock, and then you can just drag the pitchfork up there. So that's 25th at 11 is the new high point for this scan. You don't have to pull across the pink pattern is just simply showing you the, I will pull it across, but it's only showing you the shape. It's the the pitchfork is what counts, but if you're not using pitchforks are just trend lines, rather than me drawing support and resistance levels horizontally like that you can see there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a support and resistance level, which matches up with my trend line. So you might be drawing it like this, depending on where your highs and lows are. This is on the hourly. Oh, a bit slow, there we are. So there's a line of support and resistance. So I'm just using a trend line instead. So let's go down to the 15-minute. First of all, what I should say is that you want to go down to the 1 minute. This is the only fiddly bit. And you want to check on the 1 minute chart that you are, I zoom in for you, that you are indeed exactly on, and it happens to be exactly on. Sometimes, because on the 60-minute you've only got 1 candle, on the 1 minute obviously there's 60 candles in an hour. So you want to make it happens to be on the high point. Sometimes you'll find it's come out over here or over here. So just drag it to the nearest high point when you draw that. And we'll go to the 15-minute for our chart setup and see if there's anything on GA, but then I'm going to go through some US pairs, unless anyone's got anything they want me to look at. I'm very happy to look at anything because this is the US session now. You can see it's just coming into blue. So I've got the sessions timer. You set it on the default settings. You don't put your own times in, it sorts itself out. And we'll look at Forex Factory as well. I haven't looked at that. So green for Tokyo, that finished. There's the London, and we're now into the New York crossover. It's just coming into blue above. Why is that important? Because it shows you what hot pairs are, call them the hot pairs. So US dollar, Canadian dollar for the New York session primarily, and also money will move at the opening of sessions. So opening of London formed the high point here. Great British Pound made a big move up to form the high point, and you can look back and see where you get the runs on the money, because you don't want to be in trades when it's moving sideways. The good thing about consolidation, as we call it, when a pair moves sideways, is that eventually price will have to make a decision and go up or down. So don't get into trades when it's consolidating, but have a setup and have your alerts and have your confirmations ready, and then look at when you think that pair generally will make its moves. So on the 15-minute, it's coming off the D point, and I'd want it to come up here, retest that. Let's see what it's doing on the and Australian dollar, as well as a Tokyo session pair, Pacific Rim, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. Let's just pop over to the Forex factory. I forgot to do that. So I like to, you can pull this up with the arrow, set it in your local time zone, so you can see where you are, what session you're in when you come to the charts to come and do your trading. So you can see that, you know, it's just open of New York there. And then look for your news. So we haven't got any news today. Yes, we have, sorry, wrong day of the week. 4 p.m. So that's 3 p.m. just at the end of this session. That's 4 p.m. my time in Paris. So 3 p.m. UK time, just when Sharon comes on, the next session, straight after me. So that makes me very cautious about trading any US dollar currencies. So we might look at some other things instead, because it's red flag, and when it's red flag, then it can spike the market either way. The bankers move money to their advantage if they can, and they use the news to do that. So let's just go back to GA then. And I'm on the 1 minute chart because I just want to show you what it's doing at the moment, which basically is nothing very much. So it made its move towards the opening of London, and then generally about UK time, 12 to 2 p.m. Is what you call the dead zone anyway, as London's tailing off and before New York opens. So you can see consolidation there, and GA, which is quite a fast moving pair. So from 11:15 UK time across here to open of New York, it's done well, it has done 20 pips, but that's like Tokyo session. In Asian session, currencies usually generally only move about 20 pips. So what we're looking for it to do, remember I'm on the 1 minute here, is I want to see price come up. I'm waiting for it to come up, do retest, because it hasn't retested that D point yet, and then come down. And let me just put on quarters theory as a line of support and resistance, and that's what I like about this pair. You've got that, and we'll go back and just check the figures on the harmonic scanner. Sorry, let's just get rid of that. I can only get rid of it in this weird way that I do it. One day I'll find out how to do something more efficient, but I can never get rid of the brush mark. I see other people get rid of it, but I can never get rid of it. Let's just do that. Put more on the screen. And this 1 minute trend line, the orange one, you want to see that dipping down and then crossing the 15-minute line. The 15-minute line is showing me what that 1 minute trend is doing on the 15-minute chart. So I want to see the 1 minute trend, which is shows you the momentum of the market starting to turn down. You see the momentum of the market? It crossed over here. That's what, and it's above quarter theory. So it stayed above there. So very nice little run up. You would have got 50 pips there as London opened, and then it tested the 62 again. And it took straight off. It didn't even break and retest again. It just went straight up, did a break and a retest there, and then straight up to the next level. So that's how you use the levels. So what we'll do is just put a position on. So once it's come up here and broken and retested there, then as it's a GBP pair, I normally put on a 15 pip stop loss, but if it does do what we think it'll do, you could get away with 10, but I'll set it on 15. And if you're in the longer time frames, you might want to be comfortable taking the harmonic scanner. I'm on the 1 minute here, remember, So I'm looking right down the rabbit hole, and that's how I try and work it to get these precise entries. So if you ran it down to this next level, because the next pitchfork is, and then we'll just double check with there's the next pitchfork. So potentially you are, although this, as I say, is not a New York pair, let me just check the currency speed. GBP orders a 10 and it's wild, so you might want to keep the bigger stop loss on this, so it can stop you out otherwise. But if you do get stopped out, depending, you can I'll leave it at 15 at the moment. So you've got potentially a trade that's going to come all the way down to this. Sorry, it's a bit slow. Come down to that next pitchfork. So that's 50 pips between the orange lines of support and resistance. Just think of them as floors and ceilings. You've got 50, 100, 150, and a strong line of resistance there. So this has got the potential, according to the scan, once it's retested that, to be a nice big trade for you. But you don't want to be getting into it until you see this coming down below quarter theory, and that's 62 turning. So let's just have a look at our figures on here. I'm going to make a note of them. So we've got a stop loss of 1.97445, entry at 1.96634, take profit 1.95137, and take profit 2. I won't put take profit 3 in, but come back to the scanner, im.center, remember, left-hand menu, strategies, click on that, and you'll see Harmonics as a hyperlink highlighted, because this is the unique development of the founder of this company. 1.93974. And you can see, let's see how many pips it's moved off that D point. So it's already moved to 56 pips there. So it may not, given that it's moved 56 pips, it may not come back up and retest, but I always say no retest, no entry. Sometimes 50 pips, sometimes price does do that. It just shoots, shoots one way or the other. But that's what I kind of prefer it to do. Here we are. So let's just have a look if we draw that on the, actually I'll put them on like this. Just do a horizontal ray, and we can see then how it lines up with the quarter theory. So we've got one entry at 1.96634. Roundabout, it's giving us an entry down roundabout where it is now, actually. A stop loss of 1.97448. Oh, so it's taking it right, and it is a wild pair, but it's taking us 448 right up near the next quarter theory. And then take profit 1.95 137. That can't be right. What have I done wrong there? Because I'm on the 1 minute, that's why I think. If I go to the 15-minute for you, that's better. Yeah, 95137. See, I would set that at, I wouldn't bother with that. I mean, it's just, I would set it at quarter theory, 1.9500, 1.95000, because price will move to levels. And your entry, personally, I would wait for it to break below the quarter theory, but you can draw your own lines of support and resistance. 96500, 1.96500 for entry, and then stop loss must be above the D point at 1.7, which is the next quarter theory. You need to give this room to breathe, and depending on how long you want to stay in the trade because of news in the week, or you can see at the moment the 62 is pointing right up, so you don't want to be getting into it at the moment till you see it start to give you the confirmations that it's continuing to move down. And then take profit too. I won't write them on the, I won't hold us up by writing it on the things, but just take it approximately to the level 1.93974, 93974, which is there, which actually interestingly is crossing the extensions of an old pitchfork. So I quite like that. If I just highlight that for you. So once you've drawn the pitchforks on accurately, they are valid forever. So sorry, it looks like a sort of cheese board or something, but that is quite nice, the fact that the take profit to has got that level there. But you have got this level here that I would be taking note of. Let me just fade this out again. So we have, right. I would take note of, let's do one more clone and then we'll move on. Take note of this level here, 1.94495, 1.94495. The reason being, at the moment on the 15-minute, that's exactly where the 15-minute EMA is. Plus you've got the pitchfork coming down here at this point here. So make a note. I don't know how much time it will take, you know, but the pitchfork's going to move down to this level. So you've got a sort of a zone to look at there for your take profit too. Okay. So I'm going to put an alert on this. And at the moment it's still curling up. It's still sucking along the 62. Price is still above the 62. So it's still saying it wants to go up. So I'm just going to put an alert up there anyway, if the computer will catch up. Get that. That's a bit slow. I was going to make it bigger, but it's so let me put that there. And I always do my alerts in blue. And I'll just extend that line. Okay, so I'm going to come out of that one. Might help speed up the zoom. So I'm a bit reluctant to look at USD pairs because of the news coming up. That's Euro Ord. This is on the 15-minute. It's gone right up into the Fibonacci's up here. So, you know, and it's above the 62. It is a sell scan. So nothing that I want to look at on that till it starts to decide it's coming back into the scan, and the 62 is coming down. So I'll close that one. EA, nothing. Can always set alerts
Sarah,
on them. Oh, sorry, maybe jump.
Right. Sorry, Sarah, it's Helen. Can I just ask a quick question?
Of course you
Do
can.
you transfer the scans across all the time? Do you take every scan across to your trading view every time you see it?
Yes, but only if it's a minimum of 80 pips. So mine are usually on the hourly. I don't do small ones. The bigger the scan, the more powerful they are.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And sharks, obviously, the D point can redraw. So sometimes I'll make a note, or I wait until they've solidified by 20 pips. Paul uses the 15% on the Fibonacci. I just drag it 20 pips, except for a shark where I wait for it to be at the second entry price or TP1, because as we know,
thank you very much.
Sharks bite, or JPY. Yes, because you can trade off old pitchforks. If you put them on accurately, they're valid forever. Or JPY, you can see all these old lines back here. These are all old scans. And I'll keep them on TradingView forever. Sometimes I take them off if it looks like it's kind of become a bad scan. You know, it doesn't, if I double check the old pitchforks and they're not still lining up in terms of, look, there's a perfect touch there. You know, I'll look to see, just have a quick look to see, like, all those touches there, it's still confirming. You know, is it still working? So there they are. That's back to June 2019. I can still use that scan, and that's why you lock them on with the lock symbol, so you can't make them glitch, because you won't be able to go back more than 2 weeks on TradingView. Down here, you can't find the time any longer on the old scans.
Okay, that's lovely. Thanks, Sarah.
So you're welcome. So Australian dollar, Japanese yen, it's just coming in there. The nice thing is the 62's crossed downward. I can't see a trade on this at the moment, and also it's an Asian pair. We'll look at some other things rather than this one, but it's rejecting off that quarter theory, which I like. So this and this is actually going down quite fast at the moment. It's suddenly decided it's moving, but it has been stalling out, and it's got to retest that before dropping down again. But it is under the 15-minute. It's broken and retested quarter theory and broken and retested the pitchfork. So if we look at our trend, look at the 15-minute trend. I mean, it could just decide it's going to carry on along here for a while before dropping, and also it's coming into kind of a sandwich with the next. How many pips is that? Oh, it's 30 pips, but it is narrowing. So there is a trade there. Rejection off quarter theory, rejection off that upper extension below the 62, which is dipping down, and you've got up to 30 pips. So you can put on, we could put on a fib, just see if that helps. So a fib will go on a sell from high to low. So there's the high up there. Take it down to here. And you need to be accurate putting them on, and have a look to see where it's rejected back to. So I don't think this is, there's the 88.6. It's just wicked off that, which I like. It slipped through the 78. That's before, this is London this week, not London, New Week market open. That's why you've got the gap there. And so it has a little wick. It didn't quite reach it, but there is a little wick there. 88.6, so that's quite nice. And that means it, and we know it's a sell scan anyway, that means it will want to come down to something like the 61.8, and the price there would be 71.790, TP 71.790, and that is that's about 50, that's about 125 pips away. I don't know how everyone feels about that one. The only thing that puts me off it is it's outside of, you know, it's or JPY, that's an Asian pair. So how much is it going to move in New York, you know? What's the speed on that one? A 6. Good for news, I've written down there. We haven't got any news that affects that at the moment. And as we know, we've got all this coronavirus stuff going on at the moment. So we'll leave that one at the moment. If you want to look at that, then you know, it's your choice. It looks quite nice, but I can't say how much it's going to move this session. But it's got everything going for it at the moment for a sell. I'll just draw a brush mark on. So at the moment you've got 62, so it does want to carry on down. And what's that doing? Let's put the hull on, should be red. Oh, it's still green. What's it doing on the hourly? Oh, I think that's just turning to red on the 15-minute actually. Just give it a moment to load on the 60 minutes. So it's all red on the longer term. So it's slowly moving. It is moving down. Turn that off. So it's probably coming back up to just test this again and look at the, we could just look at the half-hour candle. So half-hour candle, you have got an engulfing sell candle. So that is very good. Plus you can see they are both under the quarter theory. Hang on a minute, I'm going to have to mute someone out. Can't see who it is. Jerry. Sorry, Jerry. Okay, let's move on to another one. That's it. So that is or JPY. Euro USD, do we want to look at any US, do you want me to look at USD pairs or not because of the news coming up? If anyone's got a preference, tell me. I was looking at OrdCAD earlier, which is a new scan D point on the 21st. The Canadian dollar is a New York session pair. So let's have a look, see if what we've got here. Oh, I must have got interrupted because I haven't put the, I must have just been doing that. I haven't put the pitchfork on. I think it might have been, oh yes I have, sorry, I can see it now. I did put the pitchfork on. I think when I was drawing it, it hadn't solidified. Just take out that old one so we can't see that. Okay, so 15-minute chart. This is a buy scan, and we've got we've had the break and retest off D point, and its price has moved above the 62. It's touched the next level. Now, normally when it reaches a level, it will either want, you know, it will want to break on through, but you can see how it's dropped back down. The 62, the 1 minute trend is pointing downwards, and it's come right back down to this original level. So, you know, it's not moving a great deal. It's slow again. So it might move later on, but what we'll do is see what it's looking like on the 1 minute, only because I can tell. So it's still in a downward momentum, but that price is just coming back up above now. So you don't want to be getting into this for a buy until you see it turning off this point here. It's still, that candle is coming upwards here now, but it's the 62 is still pointing down towards this line of support or resistance, and there's the pitchfork down there, which is another line of support and resistance off that reversal point in the scan. So we need to wait for that to do a bit more up there. I'll just have a look at the, let's see what the hull tells us. Is it starting to turn green or not on the so it's still red, but this is a lagging indicator that hasn't turned green yet either. So nothing that excites me about that at the moment. Turn that off. Oh, save it, make sure you save it, but you need auto save off. Don't keep auto save on, otherwise it messes everything up, as I found out when I first started. So we're only a few minutes away from the USD news. So don't get into any US dollar trades at the moment. This is a downward scan. I'm looking on GBP USD for price to come down here, but not at the moment before the news breaks. But this is what I'm waiting for on this, is that. So after the news has settled everything down, after it's come below this level, so let's start to write some things down. So GBP USD for a sell below 1.29495, after it's broken and retested that level plus this other line of support and resistance. So in brackets, I'll just put 1.29535. And then you're looking to take it down to, because you want your stop loss to be cover you for the pitchfork and the quarter theory. That's a nice tight entry, and then there's your 20 pips down to that level of the pitchfork, the next line when price will stall out, which is, so TP1 is going to be 1.29300, something like that, round about there, that line of that pitchfork there. 495, so that would take us to 295 if I'm adding it up properly. That's 20 pips. And then GBP pairs, we normally put 15 on it because they're a bit wild, and that's 1.29655. So there's the next setup on that one. If it does come through this point here, and it'll stall out at that point while it decides what to do, then it will do that. So the next level will, which is a nice level because it's got quarter theory and a pitchfork, so we know it's probably going to reject off that, is 1.29000 for TP2. 29. So I'm writing that one down, and let's close that one. USJPY I was looking at because that was a new scan. This is the hourly. Ignore these green lines, that's come off this little old scan down there. So it went, in fact, it didn't break and retest there, it just went shot straight up. And this is USD JPY. So that's close of, there's Tokyo session. Sorry if I get rid of that notification. So if you look above, you can see where it lines up with the green. That's Tokyo. So Tokyo, it dropped down to that next pitchfork level. So it came down, only about 10 pips. Then it made a bigger move. Right, can you see how it lines up with Open of London? That's when you want to be looking for your moves, although this is USD JPY, but it's moved in London. I saw quite a lot moving this morning. So it moved nearly 50 pips this morning, and now it's turning around and testing that quarter theory, and it's coming back up. And you can see the 62 is still well above the 15-minute trend. So let's go down and look on the 15-minute. So we've had a nice break and retest of the D point, and now it's working its way up. But what we have got, now sometimes these lines don't cross. If they don't cross and they just run along together then and carry on up, then that's absolutely fine. If you see this line cross over, then it wants to drop down more. It's going to come, it still wants to test again before taking off again. And let me look on the 1 minute, simply because that'll tell me. So at the moment, its price is being pushed down. So don't get into this for a buy at the moment, because it's going to drop down to this level, and it may drop down here. So you're going to be looking at USD JPY for a buy, but only after you see what it does at 110,500. And if it stalls there, breaks and retests and drops on down, then it's coming back to the D point, and you can look at it again for a buy, but you don't want to be looking at it for a buy until it's down at 1.397. So that's what it's, and let's put the brush mark on just to show you. So at the moment, price is still being forced down. It'll either reject there, we don't know, or it will break. Sorry, that should have been a break, but it didn't do it quite as well. And then here, it'll either drop down further, or it's going to reject off and then start to do that. And that's what we want to see. So this is at the moment is pushing price down. It'll either bottom out there or bottom out there. Could go on down further. I don't know. Don't know at the moment. And then it's going to start, once you see the 62 coming back up to meet this 15, the 15 comes down, and then that's going to be coming up, and then you're away to the races. And then you can look at these next levels up. So you've got a, I don't know if it's going to turn here or here. I haven't put a fib on. I could put a fib on, but probably won't. So there's 40 pips up to there, and then your stop loss has got to cover you, depending on how you like to work. It's got to cover you off your previous low. So you've got to have it 1103. That's 47, which is quite a lot actually. Between that and 397, that is a lot of pips. So I don't take trades where it's like 50 pips stop losses. That's correct. Let's put that there. 397. If we did it to, that's 5 up to there. Sorry, that's 15. Oh, it's not so bad. Sorry, it's my mistake. So you want to have it about. Let's see if we've got it on the USD JPY. I wonder if I've got it still on the scanner. Oh, it's logged me out. See what it says the stop loss is. Because if you're working on longer time frames, you'll need to have that bigger stop loss of 20. You need to work it out. So I don't know which one it came off. USD JPY, it could be that one. There it is. So that's got a stop loss of 109.96979. So you need to be working out how much stop loss you want to have to work your ratio out. That's 38 at the moment. Yeah, it's over, that's nearly 60 pips from where it is at the moment. But it's giving you an entry there, so it's saying stop loss to cover you of 40. Okay, so work your stop loss out according to, but you can see how you can see it's testing coming down to the entry point again at the moment. Okay, so that's quite a nice one coming up soon, I hope. And let's just close out of that one. And what else can we look at? That's a slow moving one, GJ, which is a bit wild. Price is coming up, but it's being pinched by that quarter theory. Can you see how many times it's stalled out? Stalled out there, rejected there. It's rejecting again. It just doesn't like, it can't break through. Let's look on the 15-minute GJ. See what our scan shows us. And I'm not even in a scan at the moment, and I've got no faint lines. I'm right in the middle of nowhere with it. There's that, there's the latest scan, and there's my last one that I had. So no trade for me off this, because I don't think I can even, I can't even capture it at the moment with the second pitchfork. Nothing's going to come through. So I definitely don't think I can see any faint lines in the background. So no trade for me on that. I'm looking for it to carry on up here, but at the moment it's struggling along at 143.480. That quarter theory point 143.500, and it doesn't like that level, and price is being forced down. So you could look at this if you use different confirmations. You don't take trades just off quarter theory, but price will move between the levels. You've got your 50 pips there, so you could be looking at a trade using your BYOB, because you can see price is broken below. It really does not like that upper level, and then that means it, and okay, we'll put a fib on, see if that helps us. So a fib from let's try that, high to low, and it's rejected off the 78.6, although it did slip through. If I take it up to the next one, which is right up there, and you could find the market. Yesterday it moved at this time when I came online. It's a fabulous day yesterday. Today it's slower in New York. It might be moving in Sharon's session, which is what it was doing earlier in the year, because the key times to trade New York UK time are between 2 and 4. But yesterday I found it moved faster earlier. So can you see all those rejections there? But it hasn't, I don't think the fib's telling us very much. No, it's not helping us up there. Nothing. It's slipped through on that. There's nothing. It's wicked right through. Nothing there. That's the thing about fibs. You can put them where you like. So therefore, you know, sometimes I get a bit confused with them. Slip through on the 78, but there's the 61.8, and it's that, you know, it doesn't like this level at all, does it? This zone. So it is looking to come down to that next level and down to here, I think. So nothing for us on that. Very slow at the moment, but I think I'm going to put that in the look at that for a sell. Where are we with time? Just got time to do a couple more. Right. GA's gone off, but that might have been something I was looking at earlier. Let's have a look. Anyone got any questions? Are you in anything, looking at anything, like the look of anything? GA, 15 minutes. And do remember to look at the macroeconomics as well as Forex news, because one of the you'll find I put some macroeconomic stuff in my group from Forex feeds. The coronavirus is having a huge effect. If you look on Wiki, had the biggest drop ever, third biggest drop ever. It was nearly the second biggest drop ever of $1.3 trillion yesterday. It is affecting the stock market. They're trying to curb the pandemic. Why does it matter? It matters because production halts, people are quarantined, borders can't be crossed, it costs businesses money, and also it will affect the economy right up until Christmas sales, because China, for example, all the production's being done now for all the toys and the gifts and everything in the shops at Christmas that we buy in the Western world. So people are very concerned about the economic effect. Plus, you've got the end of the 90-year depression cycle since 1929. That's where the word Gann comes from. A man called William Gann looked at market cycles, and the end of the 10-year cycle from the 2008 crash. So people are expecting things. The coronavirus hasn't helped, and that particularly affects the Australian dollar because it's out in the Pacific Rim economy. So our alert went off there. And what I'll do is just see if we got this trade to get into on the scanner. So it's just come up to to have a look at. I can take that off now. So it's just testing that. Wait for it to drop back down, and then you can look at that for a sell. Let me just bring it down here. In the last few minutes. Right, so price is still being pushed up, but it's got to get through these two levels, and we'll move that across. That's exactly what you're looking for your entry. Your stop loss is 15. You're going to be covering, your price is going to be covered by, your stop loss is going to be covered by the pitchfork and the quarter theory. Put your indicator on if you're using BYOB, and then you're looking for a level of 20 pips down to, or you can use the harmonic scan ones, 20 pips down to 19671, 1.96719. I'll work the figures out exactly in a minute, and I'll put them in the watch list. And then you've got 40 pips down to 1.96500, as we said. So it's just, at the moment, it's slow, isn't it? At the moment it's doing that. I don't mind if price doesn't actually touch, as long as it's only by a pip or two, because it is 6.6 trillion a day. So let's just check. It's still 7 pips away. That's not enough of a break and retest for me, because that means there's the D point. I want to see it come up a little bit closer. And sod's law, it probably won't. But can you see how many times it rejected this line here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way along, all the way since 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock. It's not been able to break through. But if you do get in, then you should be at least looking down to that one level there, which is 30 pips. But at the moment, you want to see, ideally, you want to see it hit this point here to give you more of a boomerang effect. And also, it's still above the 62. That's pushing price up. Okay, you can see how price moves up. Here it sucks back along it. Price will always come back to it. But I think that's going to be quite a good trade, but not at the moment. And have we got time to look at one more? USD chef, but we've got the news. I was looking at this earlier because it's broken through there. It couldn't cross above. It is in a downward trend, but it is only, I've only got 6 pips away, so I'm not interested in this until I see it, what it's going to do at this level, in which case I'd be looking at that as the next level on that one. And GBP chef is Swiss franc is very slow moving. It's still on its upward trend, and it is on the 1 minute here. It is 20 pips away, but you can see it's too far away. You know, ideally you want an entry point where you've got some good lines of support and resistance levels that you've drawn, like I've got here, because you know then that it's going to work in your favor. So if it does that, all well and good, you've got a very nice sell coming through there. Or it could come back down and do reject off. It hasn't liked that for a while, and you know, come back up again. Just have a look on the 50-minute, see if I can show you where there's a scan. So well, it's probably going to sell then, because it's coming. This is a sell scan downward. So you want to wait for it to come below 1 point, and this is a London pair. So 1.26500 below that to look, and then look at that for a sell. But it's, you know, it might be better to wait till it's come down to this level, 1.259, 1.26, because you've got all these lines for it to have to get through, and each one is, we'll just finish on this, each one is about 10 to 17 pips. So again, you could use your BYOB between these levels. There's 14 pips there, and this next one, it's a bit tight, but there's 10 to 15 pips there. But these are very small sections, so you'd have to go down to like your 5 minute. Okay, well, I hope everyone enjoyed that. Very slow, I thought, on what it was doing today, but you should find some things moving in Sharon's session. I've got a couple of setups to write up. Please reach out to me if you've got any questions, if you want any help. Always happy to help. And I'm going to end the meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.